In this video, I am going to explain two mastication muscles. Mastication means chewing. Okay, this movement is called mastication. So first one is this muscle. This tape indicates temporalis. Okay, temporalis. It originates from broad surface of side of head. This broad part is called temporal fossa. Temporal fossa. Actually, this muscle is very wide spreaded muscle. So there is muscle fiber here, muscle fiber here. But in this video, I separated two parts, anterior part and posterior part. Anyway, temporalis originates from temporal fossa. It's very broad muscle. Insertion is part of mandible. This bony prominent is called coronoid process. Coronoid process. So origin is temporal fossa. Insertion is coronoid process. Okay. So function of temporalis is, of course, chewing. This kind of movement. This movement is elevation of mandible, elevation. This movement makes chewing, right? So as I open up jaw, you see the tape stretches out, see, moves. Then as jaw closes, tape shortens. This is the same situation as muscle contracts, right? As jaw opens, tape stretches, muscle stretches. When mouth is closed, tape shortens. So this is very similar to condition of muscle, right? Elevation, chewing, right? And you see arrows on temporalis. This arrow indicates the direction of fibers. So when anterior part or maybe middle part contracts, muscle pulls bone this way, right? As arrow indicates. So when anterior part contracts, it brings mandible this way. That is elevation, pulls muscle this way, okay? However, if you look at posterior fiber, direction is this way. So this part brings mandible this way. So posterior fiber brings mandible slightly backward. Not too much, but if you think about direction of fiber, it brings mandible posterior, backward. Okay? So main function is elevation, especially for anterior part. Bring mandible backward, that's for mainly posterior part. Okay, this muscle is very important. When this muscle gets tight, that can be cause for temporomandibular joint dysfunction right here. And tightness of this muscle can create headache. Very important muscle. Let's move on to next muscle, which is this one. This is masseter. Masseter, very strong chewing muscle. It originates from zygomatic arch. Zygomatic arch here. This is origin. Insertion is mandible. This is very strong mastication muscle. Origin, zygomatic arch. Insertion, mandible. Function is, of course, elevation, right? Elevation. See the tape, open mouth, stretched, closed mouth, contraction, shortens. As you see, direction of fiber is slightly diagonal. You see, this is like the natural position of head. Direction of fiber is slightly anterior. It's this way. So this way contraction moves mandible slightly anterior. Very slight, not too much, but elevation and slightly forward. Sticks out mandible forward. Okay, this is very strong mastication muscle. Let's review temporalis and masseter. Temporalis originates from temporal fossa. Insertion, coronoid process. Main function is elevation, and especially posterior fiber brings mandible backward. Masseter originates from zygomatic arch, insertion, mandible. It of course does elevation. Plus, if you think about the direction of fiber, slightly going anterior, so it brings mandible forward, sticks out mandible. Mastication muscles are very important for chewing and temporomandibular joint function. Very crucial for temporomandibular joint dysfunction. If you liked today's video, please hit the like button, comment and subscribe. See you next video.